Welcome back to your favorite channel. It's the PBC, your boy Pelican, Bay K9s, giving it to you the way I always do. Fair and unbiased, raw and uncut. I appreciate everybody rocking with me, man. All the folk out here from the top of the globe to the bottom of the globe that's taking care of these pets, doing what they gotta do. I hope everybody having a great day, great evening, great morning. Just depends on, like I always say, when you're watching this video. Big shout out and salute to the brothers down in the chat, the sisters down in the chat, everybody watching from afar, man. We get into it. We get into this dog talk. We talk about dog talk that a lot of people hurt a lot of people's feelings. You know what I'm saying? But it's the right dog talk. It's the positive dog talk. So let's get into it, man. I want to start this thing off today by sending Samurai Kennel another shout out for giving me the platform October the 31st. To showcase my dog. My opponent made it easier for me by jumping out the box, or curring, as us bulldoggers said. We call it curring, jumping out the box. We don't call that turning, we just call it curring. So I appreciate that opportunity, a win by default. But like I told y'all, man, I had some things prepared for whoever would have won the dog show. But since I was the only one there at the end, it was only right for me to, represent my dog like I always do. So I'm gonna show y'all something, man, that's going up in the studio. And like I said, I had this for anybody who would have won the dog show. Not saying I still wouldn't have bought myself one. Not saying I still wouldn't have bought myself one. I wanna show y'all this though, the unraveling, before I put it up on that studio wall. Show y'all this thing, man. Show y'all this thing, man. It's your boy PBK9 trying to get the glare off of it. It's your boy PB. Canvas picture, man. Canvas picture going up on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Going in the studio, rather. And like I said, Curs don't deserve these, man. Curs don't deserve these. And this picture represents when I had to kick some ass in the digital dog show. So long, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to, like I said, a picture's worth 1,000 words sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Every time I look at this picture, I know why this picture was created, and I know how the result ended up on the end with that yellow dog. Big salute to all them Red Boy Jocko brothers. Big salute to my brother Eminem out there holding it down. You know what I'm saying? All my folk, like I say, Florence, Darlington County. You know what I'm saying? And all my real bulldoggers out there that's representing, man. We about to get into some real dog talk. I'm just showing you how to be rocking and what we doing out here, man. You know what I'm saying? It's levels to this game, man. It's levels to these brothers' seriousness. It's levels to these brothers how much they want to win. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you want game dogs, but you ain't game your damn self. You know what I'm saying? PBK9s, let's get into it. Now, in this part of this dog talk, we're going to start this thing straight off. We're going to jump straight off the boat. You know what I'm saying? We're looking at this dog right now on the screen. And what I want to speak about is we talking about this 2 and 3 hour stuff when it comes to these dogs back in the days. You know what I'm saying? Great looking dog right here. Great looking dog. But in my opinion, this dog has lost too much weight. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, and I'm going to show you where I feel like that at. In my opinion, this dog has lost so much weight that the mouth is gone. I can look at this dog and tell it don't have any mouth, and I can look at this dog and tell he ain't gonna be able to go for 2 and 3 hours, because you see how his body look? His body look like it's dried out already. It can't take no fluid loss. This body right here of this dog cannot take any fluid loss. Muscles look good around the leg area. Muscles look good around the leg area. What I watch is this butt bone right here. Muscles around that look pretty good. But what I don't like in this dog is the fact that I can see his spine all the way up his back. Now, that's good for a picture. That's good for a picture, but that's not good for activities. That's a little too light in my opinion. And that's what we always say, does these dogs have mouth? A lot of y'all take the mouth from the dogs. And I don't care what nobody say. I can look at this dog right here and tell his mouth has been taken away from him. No matter how hard he was biting before, he don't have that same bite now. This dog at this weight right here, and this is no discredit to the dog himself, but at this weight, he may not be able to give you an hour with a hard pushing dog. And like I said, the stomach got a good tuck, but it's a little too sucked in, in my opinion. And that just goes back to the spine right here, where I can clearly see the vertebrae on the spine going up the back from the side. And that's too light for a warrior dog. Brothers who not really familiar with how to get a dog in the perfect shape, they'll think the smaller they get them, the longer they would compete in the activity. But you want your dog to have strength. You want your dog to have endurance and all that, and he got to have some fluid in his body. Imagine this dog being picked up at an hour for the scratch. It's a super high chance that at an hour and a half mark, when you pick this dog up, this dog is gonna be nothing but bones. So that's why I say, man, everybody's different when it comes to their keeps, when it comes to their conditioning program. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this is a great picture for a confirmation show. You know what I'm saying? But we just judging off of performance wise. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I feel like it got a little too much weight off of them. But what we about to do, man, we about to get into this Boogie Boy talk and look at his pedigree. Let's get into this Boogie Boy talk and look at his pedigree and break it down. Look at some of the offspring. You know what I'm saying? Look at some of the offspring, and I'm gonna speak about this later on in the video. What do it seems to be some of the best crosses with the Red Boy Jocko is? We know the Jeep go good with it, but it's kind of a thin line with some of the other breeds when it comes to making the best dogs. But now when we look at this dog here, when we look at Boogie Boy, great dog. We all heard great stories about him. He's one of the first foreign dogs in modern day times that had a fan club behind him, I'm gonna say. So we look at this dog, Bingo Kennels Boogie Boy Poor. If you go into his top side, 4th generation, we in the top side, you see Hammonds, Rufus, and Maurice. So we know he's got alligator in him. Now we look in the 4th generation to the next row, which would be the 3rd and the 4th, pair down, and you see more Hammonds. Hammonds Andy L. Rum. Andy L. Rum is coming down off alligator. And then you have Henry's Little Langtree. And that dog is coming down off Tudor's Diabo, Heinzel's Gringo at the top, Heinzel's Gringo at the bottom, and Hammond's Bruno. Hammond's Bruno. And that's not your alligator, but that's your Hammond stuff. All right. So like I said, we're looking at Boogie Boy, and we see he's an alligator dog so far, with pretty much predominantly. Then we see the snort pig in him on the, the 5th and the 6th number down. We see snort pig, which we know is alligator. Then we see Hammond's Rochelle. Rochelle is an alligator bully son Eli dog. So Rochelle is a alligator Eli dog because bully son's an Eli dog. So Rochelle is an alligator Eli dog, hellified cross for the days. So we still alligator, and we got a little Eli up in there. Now, when we go to this Rambo dog, we see this Rambo dog has your red boy Jocko with some Jeep in it. So that's your what is it? Raidenix Rambo. And then go to the dog they bred with, and that's more alligator. More alligator. So when they made these two breedings, when they made this breeding with the Rambo dog and the Agata dog, that was your red boy Jocko and alligator, red boy Jocko Jeep and alligator crosses. And then you go down, you see Mr. Bulldogs and Limey Spike, Hammond's Iron Joe. So we see more alligator and more Eli. So at this point right here, at this point where we at right now, we're at Mr. Bulldog and Limey Spike's Iron Joe, or Hammond's Iron Joe. At this point, we're predominantly alligator with some Eli in it, more Eli, and a little bit of Red Boy Jocko. And a little bit of Red Boy Jocko Jeep. Predominantly alligator with some Eli in it and a splash of Red Boy Jocko Jeep. Where we at so far. Now, when we go to Hammond's Rosie, which Limey's Spike was bred to, that's more alligator stuff. More alligator on the top and Heinzel's Gringo on the bottom. So let's go to Ajax. This dog, Ajax, in the 4th generation. I can't pronounce some of these foreign names, so I'm not going to mess these brothers or sisters' names up. Ajax. Okay, Ajax is farm bred. I'm checking the 4th generation to see what these dogs coming down off of. I see some Eli in there. Tooters Jeff. William Sandy, Andy. Tooters Jeff. Okay, that's old school there. Let's check this Thor dog out in the 4th generation. Thor dog is bringing in the Snooty. And I want to say we're going to have Snooty all the way, rest of the way down at least. But we got the Snooty, the alligator, which is predominantly alligator. These dogs here are your Snooty dogs. In the 4th generation, everything from Thor on down, because it's the same breed and made twice. Brother and sister. That's your Snooty. So your alligators up here on the top, and then right in the middle right here, you got a little bit of Red Boy Jocko with the Rambo and I got a dog. You got more alligator and Eli throughout it, and then at the very bottom, you got your Snooty stuff. So it's fair to say that this dog is cross, what do you call it, scatterbred. It's fair to say this dog is a scatterbred dog, but at the same time, you can say he's an alligator. Well, you got to say he's scatterbred because he got just as much Eli and Snooty in him as well. And then he got your Red Boy Jocko in him with your Jeep. So he in my opinion, he's a scatterbred dog, but a great dog in his days, and also been known to be a great producer. Now, it's one thing I want to look at real quick. Let's go to his offspring. Now, when we check out Grand Champion Travels, Boogie son, great looking dog here. Great looking dog here. Let me blow it up a little bit on the screen so you can see the dog. We look at the dog first, and I want to talk about something. Now, You already know what I'm talking about. You see the colors on them, right? You see your markings. You got your Willow Peak markings and stuff like this. So when you got this type of blood, and I love the markings on this dog. You know, I think this is a phenomenal looking dog. Big salute out to the Viking boys. But when you got these markings on these dogs that's genetically in them, then when you breed them with another line, another strain of dog, you know, just say it could be black dog or another strain of dog, red nose, you get these Willow Peak markings. You know, these markings that you see on this dog don't just pop up on a yellow dog directly off yellow red boy Jocko dogs. You don't see them on them dogs. You see them on the alligator dogs. And that's why this dog carries the markings, because he's heavy alligator. You know, this right here represents, in my opinion, Boogie Boy is one of the best alligator dogs, alligator bred dogs in modern day time. You know, we always wonder what a old school blood's at and different things. This right here represents old school blood in a modern day twist. You know what I'm saying? And in my opinion, no, I could be wrong, but is there another dog more famous than Boogie Boy with more alligator in him than Boogie Boy has? You know, and it's going to be hard for brothers to actually recreate a dog like Boogie Boy, because you're not fond of alligator dogs. You know, everybody want Red Boy Jock, everybody want a Jeep, everybody want Eli. You know what I'm saying? You're not fond of the alligator line like you are of the other lines. This line was a real twist of the alligator stuff that they did a lot of good blending with. You know, a lot of good blending with. So let's look at the pet a little bit. Now, he's coming off Boogie Boy. And then on the bottom side, let's go to the fourth generation on the bottom side. And we're going to start with Chris Gruncho. The Gruncho dog, that's Jocko. Jocko. Now see, this is what I'm talking about right here. This is what I'm talking about right here. I need to speak to this brother, or get stories from people who dealt with this brother. Chris, who owned Groucho. Because see, this dog has no red boy in him. He's Jocko. Let me make sure. No red boy in him. He's Jocko, coming off Jocko and bred to Jocko's daughter. And I see Claude Zeke back in the back, you know. So now we got the Zeke dog back there. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the same Zeke dog that's in Bolio and bred to uh, the Goldie family that Brother Mayfield was speaking about. So we got that Zeke back in there, and then we got Jocko in there. So that's the first time I actually been doing these pedigrees, and I seen that Jocko was bred into, or his line of dogs was bred into another line without having that red boy stuff in it. And it went on to prosper later on down the line. Now, we're looking at, like I said, we started at the bottom, and it's the Gruncho dog. So when we go to Hughes, Cherry Bomb is your red boy Jeep dog coming off of Champion Miller's Red Man and Garrett Charlotte. Charlotte is coming off of Jeep and Finley Bowles' daughter. As you can see, Finley Bowles' daughter, which would be if Crenshaw's Kate is not Jeep's little mate sister, then she is the next little or a little before him, but she is the same breeding as Jeep. So we got a brother and sister breeding back to red boy dog. All right, now that should have been a hellified dog there. This brother here should have had, or these brothers should have had two hellified dogs. This Gruncho dog and this Cherry Bomb dog that Hughes had should have been off the chain. You know, and then we go down and we see Red Man's Miller in it again, and we see the Garrett Charlotte again. So we know where that's coming from. Let's check TJ's Bosco. That's Red Boy Jocko Jeep. Red Boy Jocko Jeep. Okay, that's Red Boy Jocko Jeep. So you Red Boy Jocko Jeep, and this is Boogie's son. So they kind of went back more to the Red Boy Jocko Jeep side with the son. Let's check the Vito dog out at the bottom, which is the alligator. Great. I'm glad I seen this. We casing it off at the very bottom with the alligator. You know what I'm saying? And we got a little Stompanato in there. Some of the Carver dogs in the bottom side. Black Shine, Arts Missy, Carver's Diamond. You know, so we got that alligator in the bottom side. Now let me see what Peter's Brandy coming down off of. Maximilian, that's the champion. Wise is Maximilian, a great dog that we spoke about in the past. And I'm not familiar with the bottom side. So in this dog, Boogie Son, and this dog Boogie Son, he's alligator on the top with your Eli, a little bit of teeny bit of Red Boy Jocko, a little bit of Jeep, and about a quarter of Snooty. And then they mixed it down with that Red Boy Jocko Jeep. So they strengthened up the Red Boy Jocko and the Jeep and Boogie Son. They strengthened that up and also made sure they brought some more alligator in as well on the bottom side. So that was great. That was great on that end. You know, and like I said, this is a great looking dog, man. I like the white around his face. I like the white in his chest, on his shoulders right here. You got to really pay attention to it. You know, but that white in that face, them genetics that come through that alligator stuff, man. And probably come way before that if you go past alligator. Let me check his offspring out real quick. But I wanted to look at, that particular one especially. Now, what I'm looking for now is to see if any of them have offspring that look like Boogie Boy. See, Boogie Son looks just like Boogie Boy. So the genetics is going down. It's not, he looks more like Boogie Boy than LT Ray dogs look like him. And like I said, that's just my opinion. So what I'm gonna do is go down to his offspring and see if I got any pictures of Boogie Son's offspring, just to see how the genetics trickle down. Did it switch over? Did it go to another generation or what? Let's just check it out. Okay, here we're gonna check out Boogie Night. And if they don't got no pictures, we're not gonna stop. Ruby. Most likely none of these got pictures. Oh, we got one right here. That's a good looking dog there. Good looking black dog. Now, in my opinion, he still got the same look, structure wise. He's just a different color. Still got that same box face, Boogie Boy style, Boogie Son style. Still got the same muscular shoulders. He's just a different color. And if you really look, you can see some light black markings where Boogie Boy and them will have the white color markings. You can see it's kind of like a blackish red color when you look real good. And like I said, we're just looking at structure of these dogs. We're not looking at how they bred them. As far as I'm going back, how they bred them was Boogie Son. Check some more of them out. Okay. This dog here, in my opinion, from that picture, you can't really tell. They don't really, it don't really favor the other dogs. I couldn't tell who that dog they would be off of, just looking at it. Good looking dog there. Good looking dog. If I would just look at that dog, I wouldn't say he was off Boogie Boy or Boogie Boy line. I would say he was off the Corona line. Just looking at the dog, great looking dog. One thing I noticed off top, he got a long snout. I like a long snout dog. Good mouth on him. Good shoulders on him, coming down genetically. In my opinion, just looking at this dog, not looking at what they bred him to, it looked like they're getting a little smaller in size when they got to this dog. Like I said, a picture can fool you though. A picture can fool you because it can be a big dog looking like a short dog or a short dog looking like a real big dog. but it just, in my opinion, looked like this particular dog is getting smaller in size compared to Boogie Son and Boogie Boy. But it's a great looking dog, needless to say. Great looking dog. Okay, here's another one. I see that his dog passes down the broad shoulders, the good wide head, good wide jaws. I wouldn't know this was a Boogie Boy dog looking at it. Great looking dog, though. Great looking dog. Can't take nothing from it. And like I said, this is not the focus on what they made their breedings off. We just looking at the structure of the dogs and seeing how far and how many generations does that actual look go down that these boys was breeding. Now that's a good looking dog, and I can see more of his structure and more of his body. He got the Boogie Boy shape, the Boogie Boy frame, the Boogie Boy ears. Great looking dog, man. Great looking dog, and he really got that Boogie Boy color. Cause look at him, he's got that shed and black color. Unless they actually shed the fur off of him, I'm not sure. It could be shaved this fur off. They could be shaved this fur off, and that could be the sunlight just making that picture look like that. Let's blow it up a little bit. Okay, it could be the sunlight, but in my opinion, he looked like he's blacker in some areas. But like I said, we'll blame it on the sunlight. Great looking dog, still got the Boogie Boy structure. If I was dealing with the Boogie Boy line and I seen this dog, I would know he still is carrying them genes and them traits in him strong. Go down to the Zeus dog, no picture. And the Bessie dog, no picture. Okay, let's check one more Boogie Boy offspring out. Let's see if this dog Zika got a picture up here. No picture on that one. See if they got a picture in the offspring. No picture of her offspring. Let's try this one. Okay, there go Zico right there. Zico, a male. It's a male. Good looking dog right here. Good looking, durable looking dog. This dog here look rough. When I say rough, I don't mean in a bad way. I'm talking about like a rough dog. Good looking dog, still got that Boogie Boy look, got the genetics, got the white face, white markers in the face, got a little bit of white look like it has some white around the back part of the neck right here, around that collar area, up under the collar has a little bit of white in that area. So we got the genetics still flowing good in there, and the dog still looking the same, and the structure is there. Very sound structured dog, looking dog. And this is Zico. Now what I'm gonna do, we done looked at the Boogie Boy, man. I wanted to check out some of that Boogie Boy stuff. You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna do now is we gonna look at some of this Eli stuff too as well. Let's go to Eli pair. Okay, we got Eli paired here. Big salute to all my Eli brothers. Big salute to my Eli brothers. But I got a question for you, man. I got a question for you. Now, when we're talking about 3-hour curves, and this is Bulldog talk. You know what I'm saying? This ain't nothing where I'm talking about factuals or this got to be this way or, it's everybody's opinion, you know. But we talking Eli talk, right? You know, my question is, when it comes to 3-hour curves, how do y'all Eli brothers set y'all standards for y'all dogs when the line is based off a curve? And the line is based off of this dog, Blind Billy, who is not off of Tudor's Dabo and Tudor's Mini. At least that's what the old schooler, Mr. Don Mayfield, said, that was around in that area, you know, in that era rather. So, Blind Billy had the fake pedigree, and then Eli curved out. So you got a double whammy within 2 generations. The first was the paper hanging. That's cool because if he's a good producer, that slides every time. We let him ride with the paper hanging. It's cool. Okay. But then Eli was supposed to be curved out throughout his days. Now, if he did curve out, my question is, if he did, where is his loss on his record up here? It says 2-time winner. If he curved out, you know. Now, looking at the bottom right here where it says stolen and never heard from again. You know how many Eli dogs that's out there that's being represented by other lines that may be good, that may be sorry? You think these dogs are so-and-so dogs, but they're really Eli dogs, Eli-based dogs? So I'm just wondering, man, what kind of standards do y'all base your yard off of as far as 3 hours, 2 hours? Oh, gotta have mouth. Is that why everybody going towards the mouth? Because you started a line off of a dog with a wrong pedigree that made Scrub. Scrub made Eli. Eli supposedly stopped, curved out or whatever. You know, um, like I said, I'm not opposed. I'm not against keeping dogs that lost because it's always certain circumstances. You know what I'm saying? Certain circumstances, and I got to look at the overall picture and decide whether it was my fault, his fault, or just something I need to get rid of, something I need to keep in my program. I have to make that decision at that time. And that could have been the decision Mr. Floyd Boudreaux made when it came to Eli. Because he could have got rid of Eli, right? And that great line that came down off them dogs would have never existed right now because of a curve. If dog did cur out, if Eli did cur out, and Mr. Boudreaux would have got rid of him, there would be no Eli line now. So how many great dogs came down off of Eli line? See, if the dog game was left up to many of these dog brothers out here today that say, I'll get rid of this cur, I'll get rid of that cur, we wouldn't have half the bloodlines we have out here now in modern day time. Because a lot of these dogs came off of losers. But the people who owned the dogs knew the dog was worth more than to put them down, knew the dog could bring something else to the platform, to their program. Even though he had a bad day that day. You hear brothers saying, oh man, my dog lost 2 or 3 times, but the dog was a repeated winner, or he won 10 times. It don't make no difference. Some bulldoggers know what they're looking for, and some don't. Some don't, man. But like I said, what's the standards for the Eli brothers when you get your dogs? Are you looking for a dog that's game? Are you looking for a dog that's a hard biter? Which one of these Eli dogs that Eli produced himself, not Blind Billy or Scrub, which Eli dog is known for their tremendous mouth? And I'm asking this because I don't know this. Which Eli dog, man? And I'm talking about Eli dog, not a dog with Eli in them. Big difference. Big difference, my brothers, my sisters. So let me know which Eli dog is known for having mouth. And I mean, Like I said, salute to all the Eli brothers out there, man. Everybody doing what they got to do with these bloods, crossing them the way they want to cross them. You see it didn't work out for you that the last time. You're going to make it do something different on the next go round. Big salute to all my sisters out there in this Bulldog game holding it down as well, man. Y'all hit that like button up out there, man. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed to the channel. You know, subscribe to the channel. Big Dog TV Unchained as well if you're not subscribed to the channel yet. You know, we keeping it clean over there. We keeping all our interviews, our dog training, but everything going to be easier to find over there. I'm going through some of my old interviews, making sure I got it where you can find them and locate them when you want to find them. Because I got so many videos, man. It's hard to find a lot of my stuff, you know, once you get lost in the sauce. You know, so Big Dog TV, like I said, gonna have new material on it as well that I don't have on this channel. I'm gonna do new material over there, but you'll be able to find all my exclusive interviews and things like that on Big Dog TV. And like I said, we keeping it clean over there. You know, we can't keep the haters from coming nowhere. But at the end of the day, it's how I follow it up. You know what I'm saying? How I follow it up. And I want to send a big shout out to all the brothers doing positive things with these animals out here, man. Gotta always send the shout out to the brothers, you know. Let's see, man. We talking about them Eli dogs and you know, we're talking about Boogie Boy and the alligator genes and stuff like that. And I'm gonna speak on a lot of that in later on in this video as well, you know. But yeah, man, I just wanted to ask some Eli brothers while I was pulling up pedigrees, what's the standards of the dogs when they looking for them? You know, because your line was built off of Blind Billy and Eli. Now, when we go to Eli offspring, we got more suspects. We got Bully Son. Now here go another dog where he have funny stuff around his name. Lost. Look at the loss. See, y'all breeding losers, right? Dogs that took L's. And these the foundation dogs of the line. These not the dogs that just famous dogs from the line that just made their name. These are the foundation dogs of that Eli line. And that's three of the, we Bully Son, Eli, and Blind Billy. They got strikes by their name when it comes to some type of situation. And that's your foundation. So I just asked, what are the standards to these dogs? Am I supposed to be looking for a game one or one that's just a rough one, a athletic one? What makes the Eli brothers keep breeding and kept breeding these dogs when they was coming down off of consistent dogs taking losses? And like I said, I'm not 100% right about everything. Asking questions like anybody else. But like I said, needless to say, whether the dog was Curs, whether the dogs quit, whether the dogs won, Eli ended up making a good line of dogs, a good family of dogs. As far as the ones that I feel like are the better producers, I'm not sure that and it's hard to get some Eli brothers up here sometime that really just want to focus and tell me what this Eli stuff brings to the table. If I'm keeping it pure, if I got pure Eli stuff, what it bring and which pure is better than the other pure? Is it pure bowls or pure this or pure? Which dogs do I need this stuff to be coming down off of? Because all these dogs aren't from the same family. When you further and further you go back towards that Blind Billy stuff, these dogs coming off of different families. So which one I need to really focus in on? Or which Eli dogs were the best producers of winners back in the days? Spoke about the dog that looked like I said it had too much weight off of it. You take the mouth away. We keep wanting to find mouth, but first you got to understand what weight your dog need to be at. You know what I'm saying? You might be had the best mouth in the world, but you want to look like these dogs that come in for the confirmation shows. You want to look all ripped up. Some of these pictures are made for confirmation only. You know what I'm saying? Some of these dogs, the way they look great on these pictures, but that's made for confirmation only. The dog got too much weight to be enough with a full-fledged warrior. You know what I'm saying? And whether you got them hog hunting or whether you got them deer hunting, whether you got them, whatever you pulling weights or whatever, the dog gonna need some weight on them. And that's why a lot of people thinking, oh, let me just get them skinny. Let me get them skinny. That's the first part of winning in your keep. Get them skinny. That's the first part of your dog being in shape. No, man. That's how so many people get disappointed because they thinking they came in with a skinny dog and because they ran him on the treadmill a little bit and his ribs showing he in shape. No, man, that was all I was saying. My opinion is the dog that's in that picture in the background, you know, is too small for action, but great for photo. In my opinion, his stomach is too small. You know what I'm saying? Too much. When you pick the dog up after an hour in any kind of heavy performance, when you pick him up after about an hour, the dog is not going to be nothing but skin and bones. He's not going to have no fluid. I can look at that dog on that picture, like I said, and see that dog don't have, he's dry. A little too dry. A little too much weight off of him too, as well. Like I said, he may be competing in a wall climb, you know, where he need to be as light as he need to be. So that's why I say different activities call for different things. You know what I'm saying? But that's one of the things we was speaking about, the Boogie Boy stuff. I'm going to get into that as well, more in detail into that. You know, we spoke about that. We spoke about the Eli stuff coming down off what's the standards for the Eli dog, for the Eli brothers, because you base your line off a Curry and a loser. And a loser and a dog with a fake pedigree, the whole line based off that. So what's your standards when it comes to Eli dogs? Like we got Red Boy Jocko dogs, we want them to be going. The standards of the Red Boy Jocko dogs is to keep going no matter what. You know, so what's the standards of them dogs? You know what I'm saying? That's why y'all settle for bite. That's why y'all looking for so much bite, because you ain't seen gameness in 50 years. Just asking, my brothers. You know, and that's the stuff we was talking about, you know what I'm saying? But my question I want to start this off with is, you know, what dogs make the best crosses with Red Boy Jocko between the Eli and the alligator? Because we've seen some great alligator Red Boy Jocko crosses throughout the days, and we see some great Eli Red Boy Jocko crosses throughout the days. But which one makes the best cross? You know, in my opinion, I believe I would rather have an alligator Red Boy Jocko cross with some of the tightest bred Hammond dogs coming off that alligator stuff, bred to the Red Boy Jocko, and I believe, you know, you'll get a nice dog off that. You know, many brothers did Eli Red Boy Jocko crosses, you know, across the country. You know, but is there an Eli Red Boy Jocko cross that is famous as Boogie Boy? Because he's an alligator dog. You know, he may be one of the more famous alligator dogs in modern day time. You know, when we're looking for the alligator blood and saying what the alligator blood got that showed it stood the test of time? Boogie Boy. You know what I'm saying? Boogie Boy. And if you're going to call your dog a certain kind of dog, it need to have that blood in it. Not just one time, like I said. You know, brothers get to calling it an alligator dog, alligator in the pedigree one time. You know what I'm saying? Get to calling it a buck dog, and he in the pedigree one time. In the fourth generation at that. Not in the second generation where he's the father or the dam or the puppy. You know, so what do y'all think make the best crosses, man, with the alligator and the Red Boy Jocko, or the Eli and the Red Boy Jocko? And you're gonna get two different kind of dogs when you make the crosses, you know what I'm saying? You'll get two different kind of dogs, you know, and like I said, it's my opinion. It's your opinion. It's no right or wrong in this. You know, just whatever you think. You know, And the thing I want to speak about when it comes to the European pit bulls, you know, I did a little research. I said, Google, who's known for having pit bulls? Who's known for breeding pit bulls in Europe in the early 1900s? Google says no one is known for breeding pit bulls in Europe in the early 1900s. So that tells me that the dogs came over. When they came over, during the import and the migration and all that, but they was considered mixed breed dogs. We took the dogs and made them into purebred dogs. We bred them. We never went back out to no other lines. We bred them and made them purebred dogs. You know, go back if you think I'm lying. Go back and look at any of the information you got off the European dog brothers. When it comes to their dogs, all their dogs go back to American dogs. No matter if it's Boogie Boy, no matter if it's Ship, no matter if it's this dog, they all go back to American dogs. Find me some European dogs that go straight back to European dogs all the way to the 1800s, to the early 1800s. That's what I'm talking about. You know, where are those dogs at? Now, even though we don't have record of that, there has to be somebody that actually kept a line of European bred dogs, you know, and maybe just the Americans went ahead and pured it up. Maybe in Europe, they kept trying to mix it. You know, we knew what to do with it when we got it. So like I said, when it comes to European dog history, it pretty much starts at about the 70s or the 80s. You know, the 80s mark, when you start seeing people talking about dogs being imported and they was the only champions in Europe and all that stuff and things like that. You see that from the 80s and the 90s and so on. But you don't see that back in the days like our Bulldog brothers. You know what I'm saying? You don't got no Centipede in Europe. You don't got no Colby's Pilot in Europe. You know what I'm saying? You don't got the dog Frisco Sport in Europe. You know what I'm saying? You don't got them dogs. You know, so where did y'all fall off the boat at? You know, where did y'all fall off the boat? Because we got the dogs from Europe. We knew they was for fighting. And we knew, what they was bred for and why they used the English bull and why they used the terriers. We knew all that. We went with the program and kept the program going. But the English or the European brothers, somehow or another, y'all fell off the track and then jumped back on the track later on in history. 80, 90 years later, you jump back on it. So that's why I say, man, us American brothers, we don't get enough credit. We always like to say it started in Europe. Yeah, the cross was made in Europe. But this breed of dog was started here in America. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't considered a breed when it left from over there, if some folk don't understand it. But when it got here, it was considered a breed because brothers made it what it was. And they kept it pure. We're going to breed this dog to more dogs like this. We're going to breed this dog to more dogs like this. They're not breeding it to, they say these dogs were created by bull and terrier. We're going to breed it to this terrier over here. We're going to breed it to this bull. Some breeders did that. But like Mayfield say, the ones that had the knowledge of the American breeding and the way they wanted it to be bred, they only bred to dogs that were already crossed that way when they came from Europe. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, hey, man, I just had some questions. Like I said, shout out to all my European dog brothers across the board, man. You know, when it comes to any old stories, all we got is the documentaries from the BBC with the Farmers Brothers and all them, and the other brother that had the black dog, you know what I'm saying, the brother that was playing soccer. That's the only stuff that we got from European Bulldog history. And that's modern day stuff. You know what I'm saying? Modern day stuff. So I'm just asking, man, just give me a little bit of information out there, you know what I'm saying, to my brothers and sisters that may have that information. Bella UK, you know a lot about dogs. Give me some information and some good brothers that I can research dogs, European dogs from. You know what I'm saying? Every line that started in Europe has the dogs. European Rottweilers, German Rottweilers, European Malinois, and Dutch Shepherds and stuff. Everything that started in Europe, Europe still has that purebred line going on right now, and it's stronger. It's considered stronger in Europe or you get a German Rottweiler from Germany, or one of the European countries, it's gonna be considered better off top without even seeing any training. That dog get more recognition than an American bought German Shepherd or a German Rottweiler. You know what I'm saying? Off top, it gets more recognition. So when it comes to the Pitbull, what happened to that breed? The breed is already created. You know, you got the Dudley Terriers over there, which were the red noses, started in Ireland. But where is the brother that took that Dudley Terrier or that red nose from Ireland in the 1800s and finessed it on the way up? From Europe and lived in Europe. Not even from Europe, but lived in Europe. He can be from America if he lived in Europe during them times. Where are they at? They're not around. That's why I say, man, where my Mexican brothers at? The Mexican Bulldog brothers. It always resorts back to American stories, American dogs, and the way it started off with Mr. John P. Kobe, them, William Lightner, and all them brothers from the past. It always go back to them. You know what I'm saying? And I really believe, I may not be able to find it today, tomorrow, but I really believe there's some European dogs out there, families that were bought all the way down from the 1800s up until modern day time. You know, even if they wasn't competing on the fast lane, I want to see what the dogs look like and see what they did to pretty much keep the breed legitimate and keep the breed as one, you know. And this is the thing, like I always say, in Europe, they considered it a mixed breed dog. They never considered it a full-blooded dog. So it's going to be hard, I guess, for that. Because like I said, we seen it and we took it and ran with it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. You know, and another thing I want to speak on, you know what I'm saying? The fake Walkamo Dynamite, he still talking about he gave me sold me a dog. Now let me explain to y'all about this dog he sold, and I keep telling y'all, brothers, these boys, they in this dog game for one thing, to sell puppies, and then when you stop them from selling puppies, or when you say something about the lies that they do, they go to making up anything. You know what I'm saying? Now let me tell you about this dog that you see in the background named Gracie. I call Gracie, but his name was something else. You know what I'm saying? When he had him, I got him from him. You know what I'm saying? I bought him from him. All right. He said it was a one-time winner, but let me tell you, this dog got his ass kicked by a dog. I don't know the dog pedigree. Salute to my brothers down in the country that had that dog, Mister. That brindle dog that didn't even look like a pit bull. Old skinny faced dog, skinny leg dog. Oh, didn't even look like a greyhound. You know, brindle dog. Mister went to that dog ass in short fashion, quick timing. You know what I'm saying? The dog wasn't shit, man. That's why I tell y'all, brothers, which one would you choose? The dog that went 3 hours, or the dog that's a 5-time winner and never went over 45 minutes? You see, these brothers can make grand champion off of nobody dogs. And I don't mean the person is nobody. I mean the dog ain't shit. Oh, that's a 1, that's a 2. You see, the dog that I got up on the background, when I flirt pulled him, he would attack my legs. I didn't like that. That's a no-no to me. When I work you out, I shouldn't have no dog attacking my legs. You see, brothers that want to lie to y'all and keep the shades down in y'all face, they'll tell you, oh, your dog, that's the kind you want. You want one that's hyped up. Like, no, you don't. You don't want one that don't understand what the goal is of our operation we doing here. You see? If he run after me while we flirt polling, he'll run after me while we out here doing our show. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that. Now, see, it's a difference when you holding him in the corner and he wants you to let him go. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about you get too close to him, then he grab you instead of grabbing the dog, or grab you instead of grabbing the flirt pole. And he's not a human aggressive dog. But he wasn't what they was claiming. He was mediocre. He wasn't on my standards. He wasn't on my level. You know what I'm saying? He was off Diablo and the Chavis whole stuff. If you look at the pedigree of Pelican Bay's Gracie, the Chavis hold, the Robinson stuff on the bottom, and Diablo, Walkamo Diablo on top. The dog wasn't shit. His pedigree looked better than he was. He looked, as a dog, he looked good, you know, as a dog. But as a performing dog, he didn't look good. As a performing dog, you giving to somebody that don't know dogs, they gonna take him. They gonna be cool with him. Oh, I got me a Big John dog. I got me a Walkamo dog. They gonna do that. But me, I was already in the dog game. I'm already knee deep, damn near out of the dog game by the time I had got that dog. You know what I'm saying? So it takes a little more to make me smile when it comes to a dog. So yeah, that's Gracie, man. He wasn't shit. He never, after he got beat by Mister, he got cut from the program. You know what I'm saying? Cut from the program. I kicked 2 of them Diablo dogs' ass. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take that back. I kicked one ass, and the one I had that was off Diablo, he got his ass kicked. So that's 2 of them Diablo dogs I seen that wasn't game. Not saying the rest of the Diablo dogs wasn't game, but I'm talking about the ones that I seen. One wanna attack me, and the other one, he could last 5 minutes. So I mean, let's just give it to these brothers how it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's just give it these brothers how it is and stop all this cracking and joking and like I said, y'all wasn't worrying about how Mr. Al White was looking when he was walking around with Tab. He walking around with no shirt, no drawers, no shoes, stepping on glass and all kind of shit. You wasn't worrying about it then. So why you worrying about it now? Because that Big John sperm credibility is on the line. Instead of the people who made it credible, doing what they were supposed to do with it, they gave it to a flunky. You know what I'm saying? A wannabe to come out here and lie to y'all brothers to think y'all gonna, because he say he walk them off, y'all gonna jump on his dick, which some of y'all did, and some of y'all gonna get screwed. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't cracking, I ain't joking, I ain't hating. I got my own dogs, I'm doing my own thing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to take another man's name and build a reputation off of it, which he already had. But all thing you did now is made it to the name known for lying now. You know what I'm saying? Lying. Like I said before, was that dog I had off Big John even off Big John in 2012? I don't know. The way things are going now, the way these brothers is doing it, I do not know. You know, there's only 2 things I know for sure. Them dogs never came back from the dog pound, and that Big John sperm don't exist. You know, and I never would have even got on that Big John sperm if they want to try to lie about the dogs in the dog pound. See, one lie makes you jump onto something else. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, it is what it is. I don't got nothing to do, once again, with nobody who got something to say about them dogs until you step on my dog's toes. When you step on my dog's toes, I'm going to respond back like I'm only supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? You know, if these brothers feel like it's fake champions out here somewhere and this and that ain't got nothing to do with me. You know, I did enough protecting these brothers out here with these dogs. I'm only worrying about my shit. You know, and what the hell I'm doing with my dogs. Let them hate, let them talk all kind of bullshit, but it don't take the fact of the matter is that some of these dogs ain't off who you say they off of. And some of these dogs ain't gonna never be off of who you say they off of when they say they coming off of shit that don't exist. You know? So yeah. Like I said before, man. Worry about how I look. Worry about how much weight I got. Worry about all this other shit that I control. And that Big John shit don't exist. Maybe it exists to you. You're going to be the only one have it. You know? See, this the thing. If you're going to keep it private stock, why even speak about it? Let me feed you some game, big dog, Dynamite. Let me feed you and walk them off some game. Since one think they know everything and the other one don't know shit. Let me feed y'all some game. You know, if you was going to come out here and use that Big John sperm, why even speak on it? Breed your dogs, breed what you're going to have. Show up with the dogs that's off Big John that you got puppies off of. This dog right here off Big John. It's 2 years old, a year and a half old. He off Big John, you got puppies off him. Just give us the puppies. Just get the public the puppies. Why speak about something? You dug the grave for yourself. Speaking about something just to try to brag about it. Just to try to make us feel like, oh, you got something, upper hand on somebody. when you don't got the upper hand on shit. You know, we know it wasn't no DNA on none of them dogs back in the days. Now you can have sperm off an old dog, but you ain't gonna have no DNA off none of them dogs from the 90s. They barely had DNA for these brothers that's convicted of these charges in prison in the 90s. And they getting the DNA now, and this brother getting free after 30-some years. And you talking about DNA on dogs, man, let's hear. Like I said, get mad as y'all want to get, have whatever temper tantrums y'all want to have. I said what I said, I'm standing on what I said, and it don't stop, like I say. You know what I'm saying? It don't stop, like I said. These brothers gonna keep on lying, keep on hating, you know what I'm saying? And Dynamite, do you even feel like it's necessary for you to be amongst real dog brothers when your dog partner got a fucking open sled case? Do you feel like you need to be talking to all these dog brothers when your fucking kennel partner got an open sled case, got caught fighting with the box, the dogs, and everything? Do you think it's right? Do you think it's smart? You don't care about being smart. All you thought you was gonna do was make some of that old school Walkmart money. But you had to put in that old school work, which you didn't do. You was just a do-boy, man. Hold a few scratched up dogs over here. Hold some scratched up dogs over there. But you ain't got none of them dogs scratched up. The only damn dog you could ever talk about is the technician, and he wasn't shit. He wasn't no champion, and he went damn blind. His eyes and all kind of shit was fucked up from the shit y'all was shooting that motherfucker with. See, that's the difference between having a dog that's really game, a dog that can really do this shit, and then you're putting all them injectables and putting all this shit in the dog to make him perform like this. And now look what happened. We took him to the vet. The vet man say his eyes is fucked up. His pupils was big. He didn't have no brown in his eyes. He just had one black pupil and a little bit of white on the edges. You know what I'm saying? That shit didn't come from bad breeding back then, because them was the first dogs coming down off of Big John and all them dogs. You know what I'm saying? Them was the first dogs coming down off Diablo. Diablo was off Big John, and this dog was off Diablo. The technician was off Hitler. Johnny One Nut, that Sambo kicked his ass, was off Hitler. Directly off these dogs. So, like I said, man, I ain't here to bash nobody. I'm just here to get that real dog talk. If you don't fit in where it's going down at, then so be it, man. You know, it ain't my damn fault. I ain't trying to baby you up. I ain't trying to pamper you up. I ain't here to make this shit smooth for you. You come out here with that line and all that bullshit, man. It's your boy PBK9's doing it where I always doing it, staying the way I always stay on it. Y'all stay safe, y'all stay legal, and we out, man.